Well, I changed my career midlife. I had originally been in different industries, but working as head of marketing in my last job, working internationally. I did do some counselling training for a couple of years, which wasn't about my becoming a counsellor at all. It was just out of self-interest really and personal development. I wasn't thinking about a career change at that stage. But having actually completed that diploma, which was very psychodynamic, I then decided I would like to become a therapist. So I've been working as a sexual and relationship therapist for over 20 years. For 15 years, I also worked pretty well voluntarily for the NHS, but I've always had a private practice in central London, and now I only do my private practice. I've done other trainings. I did the MA in attachment, psychoanalysis and the couple relationship at Tavistock Relationships a few years ago, and that sort of led me into doing the doctorate. Well, I was particularly drawn to couple work because I was specialising in sexual problems. Although many individuals with sexual problems come for psychosexual therapy because they feel they can't start dating until they get their sexual problems sorted out, mostly people were presenting as couples. And I felt that working with individuals and working with couples was very different, and so I became very interested in learning more about how to work with couples. I was very drawn to the doctorate to work with people like David Hewson. When I first started, the people involved were David Hewson, Mary Morgan, Christopher Clulow and Avi Shmueli, and I thought, well, I can't do better than that. I thought working with these people and learning with these people was obviously a great way forward in my work. I chose Tavistock Relationships because I like the way they think about couples. I believe they have a very particular approach to couple work which just fits in with what I observe in my clinical work. Before I did this training, I could see that there were all these different things going on with couples that I knew must go back a very, very long way, but I just couldn't quite explain it. I knew it was at a deep emotional level, I knew it was unconscious, but I didn't have the learning, the knowledge, the skills and the experience at that stage to really know what was going on. So I started to get that from the MA, but now I think actually that doing the doctorate has really developed my understanding. I feel that the doctorate has really raised my game, not only clinically with couples and individuals as well, but for myself, I feel so much more solid and grounded and knowledgeable as a practitioner. You're strongly encouraged to have your own personal psychoanalysis, and I think that's absolutely invaluable. I couldn't ever have anticipated how much I've learnt from doing the doctorate. It's been absolutely fantastic for me. So I'm in my third year. We had the first 2 taught years, and now I'm actually doing the research proper. I'm in the middle of data analysis at the moment, having done my data gathering, and it's amazing, just so interesting and fascinating. Very, very challenging, you know, it's not for the faint-hearted. So you've got to be resourceful, you've got to be capable of working under your own steam. You have a reasonable amount of supervision, but not a lot. So as doctoral candidates, we're really out there on our own with a bit of support, but you've got to do it for yourself more than any other training I've ever done. But that's what the doctorate is all about, working at a senior level. One of the things I liked about the way Tavistock Relationships trains people is that the taught element of the doctorate was very well designed around a mix of theory and also clinical work. So you're taught the theory and then discuss the clinical work and then apply the theory to the clinical work. It's very innovative. There are old theories, new theories, updates. You feel very much on the cutting edge of theory and developments. It's at the cutting edge of couple work, theoretically, clinically and in research. And that shows in the way it's designed its training. The senior tutors who work here have always been absolutely top calibre. I recommend the Professional Doctorate all the time. When I go to conferences, etc., people are really curious about it and what it's like to do. You know, it's a huge amount of work, and I think that now in my life I felt that I could take it on. And at the beginning, when I signed on nearly 3 years ago now, I didn't know if I'd be able to sustain the level, the amount of work that it takes to do a doctorate, as well as work clinically, you know, as well as everything else one needs to do in life. I'm also really open with people about the fact that it's a lot of work, and I haven't got to the end of it myself yet. I'm only in the middle of it, but one doesn't get a doctorate for nothing, and there are sacrifices. I think the most valuable thing I learnt during the doctorate was that at the beginning I didn't know if I could sustain it, And now I know not only that I can do a doctorate, but I now also feel confident that I can complete it, and that I know that my tutors feel that too. So not only do I know I can do it, I know that I can do it well and that I will complete it, and that's a really good place to be in. I think I've become a better clinician. Well, doing the professional doctorate has really improved my self-confidence in all aspects of my life, including professionally with my clients. So I'm now thinking about new opportunities for teaching, and I've had an article about some of my research published. So in the future, I'd like to do more teaching for my psychosexual therapy colleagues and my professional association colleagues. It's contributed a lot to me as a person, as a clinician, and also as a teacher. Well, I've been advised by one or two peers that some of the aspects of my research I might not be able to include in my final thesis, just because there's a limit to how much can be written. I may then be able to do further research on these aspects and would look to get funding for that. So my contributions to my field would be more than simply my doctoral work. Well, I say simply, there's nothing simple about the doctorate. If you do the doctorate at the right time and you find your way, once you get on that track, it's very creative indeed.